Rob Cannonball Boswell when it comes to Blizz. Oh wait,
Clearly.
we're alive? Oh my God! Sorry, I didn't mean to leak that Rob Cannonball Boswell was coming to BlizzCon.
I mean, who else would it be? Really? Are they going to put Vega? And there's already a Ghost. You can't have there's already like almost every one of those, but never has there been a Herc hero, unless you count, the mythological one.
Yeah, maybe his alternate heroic is not Cannonball, but in fact to do the jackknife instead.
It would of course be the Cannonball. That's why they call him Rob Cannonball Boswell. Go play the Canoe Co-op Commander. It's sick.
But one of his talents is belly flop.
It has to be. Who else could they choose? People want the Innkeeper. I'm like, has to be the Herc.
What's another thing you could do to jump in the pool? The pencil, where you like go and you like try to make a small splash. You
Not
go like
actually
this and
the name.
What's it called?
There's no way it's called the pencil.
Isn't it called the pencil? Where you like go in like a pencil?
You didn't take swimming lessons, Wolf.
What's it called then?
I didn't take swimming
Oh, look at this guy.
either.
Look at this guy. It's not called the pencil, but I don't know what it's called.
I know what it's not called.
It's definitely not called the ballpoint pen.
Well, that is also true. We can all agree on that. We can also all agree that the next series coming up today is going to be so good. It's going to be so good. The penultimate culmination of so much of our hard work watching, casting HGC Phase 2 has been following Miracle.
Yes.
Oh, did I say their name right as they came? Oh my God.
It was
so
perfect.
good.
It was perfect.
Judy and Blue Beetle, their evolution as a duo has just been impeccable. They are kind of the Bash Bros. To keep each other alive, Judy has looked so sick. He's leading the drafting now, and it all is coming together for Miracle this season.
It really is. And Miracle is the team that has now defeated Genji twice and has also defeated Ballistics. This is the final piece of the full triangle defeating...
This is Exodia for them.
Yeah, I mean, most regions refer to the top 3 teams as the Big 3. It was a term that was started by the EU casters. They were referring to top 3 teams in Europe. And I think it was at the time Fnatic, Dignitas, and Team Liquid. But now Miracle have the opportunity to defeat the Big 3 that have never been toppled in Korea. We've already made history with Tempest being guaranteed seed and Ballistics not. This win for Miracle will not change their seed because we know that Ballistics just won their previous match against Gluck, which was kind of a shoo-in. But this match could, I think, really elevate the hype going into playoffs. Remember, this team is guaranteed. Tempest is guaranteed BlizzCon already. They outperformed Ballistics, who has already been defeated by Miracle. And now, if Miracle could defeat Tempest, we almost have to rewrite the tier list for Korea. We might even have to say that if Miracle crushes Tempest here, like how could Ballistics beat them when they've already lost before? It sets such a big precedent. And for Tempest, I think they just want to. We're going to have a totally different meta, a totally different patch when BlizzCon comes around. So they want to prove that they are the stronger team. This match is absolutely hype. Very, very exciting to see who ends up taking that crown of the best in Korea for regular season in terms of, there's that unofficial World Championship belt thing everyone talks about. You defeated the best, etc., right?
Right.
If Tempest can't beat Miracle here, then Miracle has defeated the 3 best teams in Korea, not just this phase, not just this year, but for all time. And that would be a huge statement to make.
Right. I mean, the saying is, if footmen tire you, what will horses do, right? If you struggle against Miracle here and you're going to BlizzCon, there's going to be stiffer competition there. But let's go ahead and get into it. Bans on Sky Temple and Braxis. No surprise there. And that is going to... I actually didn't see what...
Towers of Doom.
Towers of Doom. Nice.
Be first ban for Tempest. Miracle's map choice. Very historically great map for Miracle this year, as they have improved their late game significantly, and that's where they've actually been at their strongest. So, a surprising map pick for them. One of their very recently most commonly picked maps. Controlling the bottom bell tower is going to be the name of the game for them, and they have used quite an extensive amount of Dahaka on this battleground. And I don't think it's going to draw necessarily first rotation pick, but it has been Dahaka's best map this year.
That's right, Tyranda's still open, and that is going to be a kind of a no-brainer for the first pick. But Wait, what? Are we really going back to first pick Tychus? Or
I mean,
not Tychus, Raynor. It's the other Marine.
Yeah, the other guy.
Sorry, I was caught up on our co-op commander discussion earlier.
Yeah. Everyone's saying Titan's pretty strong there. Diablo coming in here now with Phoenix. It's been a pretty quick draft. I mean, we're just going through the tier list here in a lot of ways. You're thinking of Blaze, one of those heroes that will make it into the roster of Tempest now. They're looking for their solo laner. They could ban Whitemane here to limit Urel's effectiveness. Li Ming's ban comes from her ability to interrupt altar channels. How powerful she is at controlling the zoning once you do take that bot bell tower.
I mean, I'm still a little bit worried about the first pick, Raynor, but the Maiev Zeratul ban, I mean, that was something that we saw, I think, used earlier by, I think it was Tempest to hurt a Raynor pick. I forget who that was. It was maybe Ballistics that tried that against them, but regardless, it's still going to require some support, and so it's really cool to see the Medivh come through.
No, last time we saw Medivh played by Miracle was against Gen.G on Volskaya. They ran Medivh Stitches. Main tank still what Miracle is looking for here. I hope that that is not their game plan here with the Raynor draft that they have at the moment, and that it's more of a poke-based comp. Okay, we're going to see Zul. Zul makes it in. This has been heavily talked about in Korea and has been streamed by a lot of top players in Korea. Lockdown in particular, actually one of the players has been playing him quite a lot. We'll see if he ends up getting to play this hero here, as Dahaka will be more the flex off laner. So I'll talk a lot about Zul when we get in game. Zul's my main, for those of you guys who don't know that. It's going to be the Stitches lock in here. So Stitches,
we're gonna see that again?
Yeah, Stitches comes through as a very powerful pick on this map because of Gorge portal combos. The walls are up on this map very often because when a bell tower gets reset, the walls get reset with it, so they're kind of permanently there, essentially. So it's always going to be relevant, that combo. You have Deckard Cain to set up hooks. You can slow into a hook. You can root into a free hook. You can hook into a root from Deckard. There's so much you can do. And as for Zul, okay, Zul is
cool.
Zul is cool. He does a ton of damage. He is great for zoning. He has incredible wave pushing power, good wave clear. He can delay quite well on the altar channels with his scythe. I mean, he's got a little bit of everything. And I think given the comp that we are seeing right now, it will probably be Poison Nova coming out. But I think that Skeleton Mage is very strong on this map because you can just put it on top of the altar itself. And then, you know, they can't channel it until they clear those. Very difficult to fight around that. This is very exciting. But Zul has been talked about as either a solo laner, but for the most part as a main tank in Korea. But with Diablo here, we know that's obviously not the case.
It still offers a lot of very tanky options here. One thing that's cool for me as we get into our first game of this series is that this is a little bit of kind of vengeance for Miracle, because the last time that these two teams played against each other, it was actually Tempest running the portal hook combo against Miracle, and so now they're having the salty run back here, trying to pull it out against Tempest.
Part of the reason why Zul is considered a tank, even though he's not very tanky compared to other main tanks in Heroes of the Storm, is because of his level 1 shield. He's taking Shackle, which is, if you want to try out Zul, you only take Shackle. Very powerful, does a lot of damage. Notice that Zul is already in the off lane. He's going to be doing a ton to the walls. Very powerful on this map because if you get those walls early, you get that extra experience. It's very easy to break them down because of how the sapper camps work here. They explode, they do a ton of damage, so if you've already damaged the wall, you get that massive boost once the camps become active.
Yep, and it's exactly like you said during the draft, Wolf, that it is all going to be about controlling those bottom bell towers, and obviously if you can take one and keep it, it is just a huge advantage.
Notice also that Azul is being played by the main tank player here, Sign. So clearly it's something he's been practicing for opportunities to main tank it, which is usually on Infernal Shrines. But it is... Zul is incredibly powerful when given the right support. He has great CC that pairs well with Diablo. And an invade like this is completely reasonable. So Miracle needs to respect this.
I mean, Miracle should be welcoming this because it does mean that setting up these hooks might be a little bit more easy. Right as I say it, there comes Hyde getting hooked in, but no follow-up. So.
Had the hook been over the wall, which would have been impossible to set up given the scenario, it could have been very powerful. But, you know, it ends up being just a camp steal, which is basically just a denial on this map. The one thing I do really like for Miracle in this early game is that they're winning the top lane matchup, Yrel versus Dahaka, very well. And they're using Zul as the rotating pick rather than the soul laner because they have that Dahaka. But it's, as you can see, very easy with Zul to get an experience lead. He clears so fast, and when he leaves the lane, his skeletons that he's raised actually kind of watch it, continue to push it, so you have to deal with those. It gives him a very free rotation.
Oh, hooking on to good. The follow-up, warp's too good.
The root does not connect with him, but Sniper already used the portal, just comes back up.
Yeah, Sniper protected, of course, as always, and of course now he's just untargetable, so the push keeps going. I was actually a little bit worried as Lockdown was trying to come in from behind, but Dami's so low. I'm curious to see which way this is going to go. Very low health bars on everyone on Tempest, but thankfully passive, or trait rather, is going to heal Lockdown back up to full and allow him to keep doing kind of the surrogate tanking role.
It was misplaced, or it was too early, the scroll of sealing, so it wasn't available after the hook. He used it to try to grab him to lead into the hook, but it missed. So, you know, after the hook, it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. So Diablo just charges in, then goes back there. All the while, the Zul got that top push. We are going to see these traded. Dahaka, obviously, rotating down right now.
Yeah, of course, the main fight here is always going to be around the bottom altar. So we'll see what the commitment level is here. I don't know if Miracle are really going to have too much to say about this, just because it's so easy to cancel them. But, going in, Franco. Oh, he's going to take that portal way out of there, and maybe an overcommitment by Lockdown, but he's too tanky, and he can heal back up to full anyway.
Oh, nice grab here on to Hyde, though.
Yeah, it does get him over the wall, but of course it's right into Dami and Lockdown on top of him, so some protection is there.
Nice. We've been seeing Hyde connect these owls with the channels to prevent the turn-in, as Lunar Flare is also going to be a great deterrent. Needs to hit one again. There it is. And Zul will be twice as good as Yrel at rotating between top and bottom in terms of value. Like, literally twice as good. So, Cyan's coming down. Now he's looking for Frankel. There's the root coming through the Bone Prison.
Well, we see the hook. Okay, it only hits onto Davi and Frankel.
He's dead.
He's out of here.
Nitrogen comes over. I don't know where the owl cooldown is at. Hyde's looking for it.
Oh, there's the Brush Stalker. Okay. That was the delayed kind of playing with his food kind of takedown, but still, a kill is a kill. That's a nice one coming back towards Tempest.
So he has gone for the Curse Strike build, which is how you main tank with him, because you get cooldown reduction for how many heroes you hit. With his level 4, his level 7 gives the heal. So he becomes nigh immortal, and while you keep healing yourself as Zul in the team fight, again, because he's in the laning phase right now, he hasn't been team fighting, but when he does go into these fights, in the longer fight, he will get a second shield, which then does further damage, 12% of max health on the tanks in the front line. Stitches in this case, who has no escape, ends up being a really nice pick.
It's just so ludicrous. Sign walks into a wave, basically 3 shots it with his scythe, and then just walks back out again. It's impossible. Like, you're never going to be able to follow him as quickly as he is able to rotate between.
And because he heals himself, if you try to have a big rotation on him, he can actually stay alive for quite some time for the rotating heroes to come and join him. So we just see more and more stacks coming through here for Hyde. The scaling here is going to be out of control for Diablo as well. Look at this, he just lives. Look at this rotation, he can live for so long. I think he still has shield.
Oh, okay, well that's gonna do it. Actually, really a strong play here by Judy, a guy that you sort of tunnel onto being good at only a kind of a limited tank pool. Stitches is something that he's struggled with, and he's making it look pretty good this time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It was a liability on Volskaya, where they did fail against Genji. Even though they picked Sign, top lane still occupied by Dahaka. He's able to fill the gap after Azul is killed and Soak, so Tempest still controls level 10. And the composition that Miracle's running is a little bit gimmicky, you know, and post 10 is where it's going to get its first big power spike.
Ooh, another sick grab on there. Judy this is like the polar opposite Stitches from the last time we watched him play it against, Genji. Yeah, he's just hitting almost every hook, but I mean, still Tempest with the core health lead. That is ultimately what matters. You can't hit him. You do have to control those bell towers, and it's Tempest doing the better job.
It's very annoying to have so many resources put into dealing with this hero that does so much damage. It's the structures and pushes lanes so hard and gives so much soak. Fail to kill him, lose the bell tower, find yourself down 8 core health. He is holding, whether he's going to go for Poison Nova or Skeleton Mages. Given how this game has been played so far and that he is, again, playing main tank Zul, this is basically a double tank comp. What we're looking at right now is what Koreans would call it. I know everyone's like, but it says specialist in game, so you can't say that, Wolf. He doesn't have a warrior tag next to his name, but he is being played as a tank in this case.
Hey, at least he's not multi-class.
The mages give him so much escapability in lane as well. If they dive him, he puts those down, the slow comes out, he heals off of the enemies, puts his shield up, the rotation comes in, and suddenly your gank attempt on Zul ends up costing you a team fight. And you lose, after using cooldowns on Zul, the follow-up fight.
Another hook lands. Of course, that one's not very impactful at all.
Mage is out. He's going to die here, but the value, had Tempest been nearby, could have been very good. Miracle has consistently been able to hit these hooks on Zul, and that's so important and so difficult with all his skeletons all around.
And they're not stopping here. Dami trying to kind of meet the fight where Tempest wanted to be instead of running away and then getting hit by another hook, but the hooks keep coming. And look at the lockdown. I mean, not the player, but the control there. I mean, lane line, everything else, it's just too much for Tempest almost. Now, there's a hook of his own, the drag from lockdown, keeping Sniper a little bit honest, and it might put him in a vulnerable spot, but I mean, Miracle are disengaging kind of remarkably well, even despite losing a hero.
The Owls have been really good for Hyde throughout this game, and he has been hitting Lunar Flares on portals very well. That's part of the reason why they won that fight so handily. Goods got the channel right now. Interrupted is Nitrogen twice, so they actually get the full channel.
Wow. No. Damn. Nitrogen's going to feel a little bit rough after that one. Another hook, this time onto Phoenix.
They commit to the Gorge, but there's no wall here. Phoenix does not have Warp, I don't think. Nope. So he's going to go down. But look at the top in the mid lanes. The power of Zul is when you already won the altar, which they did. This fight is essentially meaningless, except the small, missing Phoenix here for 15 more seconds and the slight kill experience. What Sign has gained in both the top and mid lane is so much more valuable. And Zul used to be the go-to hero on this map and on Infernal Shrines back when he was first released. Very different Zul than he is now. But, Tempest is essentially monopolizing control of lanes with this one hero, and if you kill Phoenix, but Zul survives, are you really winning? In terms of experience, no.
It's weird because it feels like Zul is playing a different game than everyone else. He's just so good at what he does, shoving the lanes and then rotating to be with the team. It's almost like that matters more than even the times that they've been able to pick him off. He has done so much at that point that his effect is still being felt.
Yeah. And he's, when you play solo queue Zul, you might not even want to necessarily run him this way. But this is how you play him as a tank, where he's just so difficult to kill in fights and could stay alive so long. It can be even more powerful as a split pusher if you go for Jailer's build, etc. But in this case, he's just looking to avoid fights. And when he is forced out of a lane, Dahaka picks up the slack. Dahaka's pushing the top bell tower right now. They're going to look for a heavy engage here. Very risky, but here comes Dahaka. Lockdown's in.
Dami not so immortal that he is, unable to be picked off there. Drag onto Frankel does force him a little bit more defensively, but I think Lockdown might have overextended just slightly. There's actually Starfall again, so kind of interesting to see that picked twice so far, and it does deal a lot of damage, but there's just too much more coming back from Tempest. Good even frontlining there for a second because Miracle are on the back foot. Nice set up for the grab backwards, but Hyde is not so locked down. There's no follow-up, so he gets back out. Sign, though, is the casualty once again.
Oh, nice protect here. Frankel gets out.
Wow.
He gets out. Good wanted that kill so bad, with switch to range mode there. Now Lockdown's in trouble. Dami's gonna have to peel. Portal's up. Good is never wants to be right here. He's got warp. Doesn't want to have to use it until the last second. Ping's coming through. There's a Gorge. Now he's gonna try to peel, but there's too many minions. Okay, Dami uses the Banshee to get out, but his follow-up hook, Judy's hook accuracy today.
Damn, Judy! Making it look easy. Another kill off of just Judy's hooks.
And now we have to, you know, we saw that last fight with Zul where he was unable to auto-attack, so wasn't able to reset his W or get the heals. You can start to see that there are some better options for main tanks in a straight-up team fight. When his macro play is nullified, Miracle can start to take back control of this game because no bell towers were taken. Now they control the boss. I like that we see Tempest just letting this go. They already have a huge core health lead. They're going to actually try to get this bot bell tower perhaps with a double push.
Yeah.
Miracle really needs to respond to this.
I guess, do we give out prizes for not allowing any bell towers to be taken? Because then we could call them a
Go on.
Nobel Prize.
I did not see where you were going with that.
It's done. It'll never be said again. This was my one moment. All right, we're moving on. Ugh, glad we got that out of my system. Anyway, hopefully that will be awarded to Miracle because they are still trying to resist it.
That could be, I mean, that could become a Heroes of the Storm term for a game where you were able to not lose any bell towers.
Let's hope for everybody's sanity that it doesn't. Again, combo after combo. This is just working out so consistently for Miracle.
Okay, but the mages are up, and this is a good situation to fight in for Tempest. Unfortunately, Ludaflare misses completely.
Portal is there, hasn't really been used just yet as an exit strategy, but I mean, the salvo is going to come through here. Only really hits onto like 1 or 2. Sniper is still alive, still back in the back. A great stall there from the stay a while. Leyline not the best, but I mean, how long can Nacho just stay alive at this point? He's trying desperately to tank everybody simultaneously, and he actually does a great job at that.
But Frankel tries to flank, and
Frankel not successful.
That's where his nickname comes from. Good could.
Oh, the owl snipe! That's a nice sentinel, and that's going to be another kill coming back towards Tempest.
Sign stayed alive so long here too, even though he does die. They're going to trade up on this one.
It's a fight that never ends.
Yeah. Okay, good. Warps away. He's got the damage over time. Just barely survives here. He's got a potion right there. Might want that.
Good wants to go for the and one, and he doesn't win it. Nacho Jin trades it right back.
Well, I mean, this is why Tyrande is broken.
Oh my god!
So yeah, when I played the new Tyrande for the first time, I was like, wait, so you mean like I do damage and that makes me heal more, and then I like win every fight, I stay alive forever? It's kind of absurd, but small mistake there, I think, not taking the potion from Phoenix. You know, I would have liked to see the potion drank there and then the commitment to the fight. So I think this is actually a trade up for Miracle in terms of positional advantage. You can see it just by looking at the map. They have everyone respawn. They have the portal to the middle, which allows them to go straight into the invade here. But they are very mortal in terms of this altar fight. They will have to get at least one. There's a lot of delay tactics for Tempest. The owl can go across the map.
Yeah, that owl snipe in the last fight was just so sick. I mean, it's little things like that where you start to realize, wow, these are actually just the best players in the world.
Yep. Well, some people take some longer to realize, but, you know.
Well, they'll figure it out eventually, Wolf.
Lockdown gets out of there.
There's a Skeletal Mages used in a great spot. Leyline locking down Diablo, so Donnie can't really get up close and personal. That's a decent Ardent Defender to keep Urel alive, but for how long, right? I mean, Donnie...
Oh, huge salvo here.
Look at that damage coming through. Judy, Blue Beetle, back in the back, and have to just head for the hills.
That salvo almost won Tempest the game. Boss is up in 75 seconds, so they don't have the opportunity to take that. But, I mean, Lockdown played aggressively. He did not have his essence. At least it didn't appear to have his essence because he didn't use it while he was burrowed. If he had lived there a little bit longer, Tempest crushes the fight. Remember that we talk about all the Zul split pushing and what it could mean in a fight if you can't auto-attack, etc., but There's also weaknesses to Miracle's comp. They only have one consistent DPS, which is Frankel's Raynor. They have a comp that's mostly based around getting hooks and preventing these rotations.
I mean, when you land hooks all the time exactly like that, Judy is actually at risk of... that's a lot of damage. The healing reduction specifically going to make it so difficult to keep him alive. And the again, a hook into Gorge. The Judy combos keep coming. Now Lockdown's going to be the next casualty.
Not entirely sure. I assume that he was hooked back there, but he might have brush stalked in, which would have been weird. I'd have to go back and see. I wasn't actually watching him when that happened, but Diablo gets the insta respawn because of souls. But even though Tempest is up 20 kills here, or sorry, 20 core health here, I actually think that Miracle has a massive grasp over this game right now. Like, I would go as far as to say I think Miracle is significantly ahead. They have to get up here to this boss, though. And
that is true. This is so, like, tenuous, right?
Yeah.
You look at the core health, and it's just massively in Tempest's favor. When you consider the way the game is going right now, this is not a done deal.
Yeah, it's, you know, if they have to be very careful, because if Tempest is able to steal this boss away somehow, they lose the game. But I mean, all vision is given. Raynor can go up. They're going to get the double challenge. This is so greedy by Miracle, but it's going to be very effective because Tempest hasn't even started the boss yet. They know that. Oh, things are really falling apart for Tempest now. Right into the root. Heal reduction.
The skeletal mages are out though, trying to make this a good turnaround. Tempest, unfortunately, are just going to keep hemorrhaging heroes.
Yeah, it's level 20 now. Miracle's going to get this boss, and that's why I said just moments before that you're up 20 core health. That can go away. 14 of that is going away right now.
Yeah, and they're in the bonus, right? They've got that extra bell tower on the bottom side. I mean, this is something we were talking about, you know, Miracle being at risk of Tempest taking theirs earlier, but now, you know, the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, and I think that Tempest has forced a lot of engages with poor brush stocks from Lockdown. Lockdown's been caught out of position several times. We're running this triple tank-esque composition where you have kind of two main tanks and you have the Dahaka pick. Sometimes you feel like you can push yourself into the back and you'll be fine no matter what because there's so much to peel for you. But if you're going that deep like Lockdown is, then sometimes it comes back to bite you.
Well, it's not even Lockdown going deep. Honestly, he's been hooked like 2 or 3 times by Judy.
Yeah.
It's gorged and it's just put way back in the back of the team. There's no way they can get him out. Healing reduction also super important at keeping him from being able to heal back up and escape eventually through this huge health pool.
I mean, Taronda's got good consistent healing. I almost want to call her heals mini burst. It's not really fair to say that, but she has so much potential to just heal, and it's an insta heal. It's not tick up. Like it's similar to Deckard's potions, but if you have that reduced healing, her small healing, which is repeatedly cast, is actually affected twice by both stacks of her healing, so that actually stacks up quite a lot.
Dami going in to start the fight. Portal's out there, so not really the engage they're looking for. Commits the Lightning Breath as well, but Sign is really the one in trouble. Salvo going to come out here. Lots of damage from that, but it's still not a fight that Tempest want to commit too heavily to. Stay a while to stop too, but will this be the turnaround? Good. Oh my god, so low. And look at Nacho Ginny still in there. Gets the hammer, the knockback, but the first casualty will eventually be Miracles. They will lose that fight handily. And off of it, maybe a whole lot more. The turnaround? Is that what I'm watching?
Nah, almost. But it looks like Tempest will win this map. Very, very stressful situation for Miracle where they had to take a bad fight because of the way the altar spawns. Obviously here, you have to go in, you have to get both of them or you lose the game.
Oh my goodness.
So they had to take a bad fight. This was a pretty close game. It was pretty crazy.